but he maintains his unbeaten record, and it's a treble for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh.
See the Stars wins a fourth Guineas for Mick Cannan.
We are back with day 3, which is going to be, well, I say a shorter video, but depends how long Ben goes on about Envoi Allen. We've only got the 4 races to cover, starting off with the Marsh. So I will come straight to you, Ben, who you think Envoi Allen is one of the bets of the week, no?
Yeah, I think he is. I think if he doesn't win, you'll probably not see me on this channel ever again. I love the horse, and people's going to be saying, "Oh, look, he's at the 11. He's put up the 11 shot." But I've been betting this horse since last March. Genuinely been betting this horse from last March. In the early parts of the summer, I took a gamble on the Marsh. I was quite feared about RSA, but a lot of free bets over the summer, and I've some really nice doubles with Envoi Allen and Shishkin. So if Shishkin comes in, there's a big sweat on here for Envoi Allen because I have singles as well in around 3 to 1. But yeah, on the race, I love this horse. I've followed him since he's a bumper horse. He never disappoints. He's got speed, stamina, jumps. He's the complete racehorse all in one. I just love him.
He beats. Sorry to butt in. I'm just going to sow a seed of doubt. He beat. Obviously, we'll just mention he's now not with Gordon Elliott. He is with Henry. Shouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't have thought. I just wanted to bring up the race at Punchestown. Cheltenham Novices Chase, I think, was it?
Last time out?
It was last time. He beat Phil Dudary.
On my birthday.
He beat Phil Dudary by, what, 3.5 lengths? Do you think that form is good enough to win this race?
That's not... Okay, I think this horse wins this race, but that form wouldn't fill you full of confidence. But at the same time, if you look by all his winning distances, he doesn't win by far. I think Dan had said it last week. Gordon Elliott says, like, you know, when he did train him, he says, like, if you put him up against a 90 weighted horse, he'll just do enough to go past him. You put him against a 130 horse, he'll do the same. I think this horse just races within himself. He knows how to win. He knows how to win horse races, and I've looked through this race enough, and it's going to cut up into. I think I've narrowed it down to probably about a 6-runner field. I'll just go through. Anna Germain not going to be here. Longfish won't be here. Sporting John won't be here. Allard won't be here. Latest Exhibition won't be here. Colreevy won't be here. Darver Star won't be here. I think you're left with Chamblou, Chantry House, Chatham Street Lad, Fusil Raffles, and Asterion for lunch. I think that's the makings of this field. I think this is what it's going to come to. Off level weights. This horse won't be beat. I don't think so. I really don't think. I think he hasn't. His jumping is immaculable. He doesn't touch a twig. And I think Chamblou will set up the race perfectly for him. Gordon said last time out when he won at Punchestown that this horse would better with a lead, and Chamblou will definitely give him a lead because great jumper. But
yeah, I mean, you would think Chamblou couldn't beat Sporting John in the Silly Isle.
He's not going to beat Envoi Allen, but he's going to set the race up perfectly for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be up there, isn't he, with the pace? You can see him forcing it up with Envoi Allen. He tends to be just in behind if he can do.
Yeah. But I think there's no beating. I don't see who beats him in the field. I would have my doubts around Chantry House. I don't know. I just like he lost at Christmas at December in Cheltenham, and there was no real excuse. I don't ever picked up an excuse why he lost. And
I couldn't see anything when I was rewatching it there. Yeah, it looks like he just got beat. Yeah,
I think he was beat fair and square. And that form certainly won't win this race. Chamblou, as you said, he could beat in the Silly Isles by Sporting John. He was a rejuvenated character who was remarkably. I guess something wasn't right. I don't think in the Ballymore last year, but he was beat very straight by Envoi Allen. Steering Florence can't jump. Fusil Raffles, yeah, okay, like he's a good horse, but he's not the character that Envoi Allen is.
Wow, you just wait and see what I have to say.
That's what's going to interest me. But I just think the way I see this race pan out is Chamblou is going to go electric up the front. It's going to jump. They're going to come around. I think Envoi Allen's going to be there about 2 out after the lap. He'll jump the last. He'll take open. He'll win about 3 lengths. And people will say, "Oh, he's only won by 3 lengths, but he's won the bumper. He's won a Grade 1 bumper. He's won the Royal Bond. He's won Ballymore. Won the Lawlers and Naas.
Won the bumper here, didn't he? 2019.
Won the bumper. Yeah, bumper. He's won. Yes, he's won the Ballymore. Won the Lawlers and Naas. Won the Royal Bond. George, you might have a valid point, but I think people just keep on trying to get him beat, and I think the only horse in training that can beat him is Monkfish or Shishkin. I think nothing else is in the category of those three.
Nogamain?
No. No, not for
Same,
me.
Dan.
But
Have you got anything to ruin Ben's day?
No, I certainly haven't. No. Yeah, he just wins, doesn't he? It's
thanks,
pretty. It's going to be a pretty. This is going to be a pretty poor race, and if Envoi Allen didn't win, I mean, something wouldn't be right with the world, would it? With the opposition he's going to face here.
I think the only thing that can get him beat is the stable change. Yes, there's nothing like, as I say, like that shouldn't beat him, but that could be the only thing that throw me off because the different feeding and stuff and different routines and.
Yeah, I think you're right when you say though he's quite a relaxed horse, isn't he? That sort of thing wouldn't phase him. So I think you were right when you said obviously we've been talking, out of this this preview, but you said he'd be quite relaxed. So I would have been quite worried myself as well. But the extent where I thought he'd be beaten, but I thought you might end up getting a price about him, really. You could sort of spin it the other way around and say, well, we might get a price. I mean, I think the price now at 8 to 11 is a fair price. I think for people who like steaming in on these sort of horses, I think he's a 1 to 2, he's a 2 to 1 on shot now with the field. And I think if it cuts up, he's a 3 to 1 on shot, just purely because of his back form. Maybe not in his form in chases this season. What has he actually beaten of grade one standard? Probably not.
They all run scared of him, so you only beat one in front of you.
Yeah, and he's put in a pretty good performance in the Drinmore as well.
Yeah, and
I mean, he only beat Assemble, but
that's it.
A fair way.
Oh yeah, he's winning. He's winning doing handstands, but what is he beating? I get that sort of argument, but I think like Gordon Elliott said, he'd beat a 165 rated horse by a length. He'd beat a horse rated 135 by a length.
That's just him, yeah.
And the thing is with this, Shamblu is a very good jumper, like we've said. But the fact that Sporting John came from the clouds the last day to beat him. Sporting John's a very good horse, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to have any chance if he's doing that sort of stuff if he lines up here.
He's going for the Brown Advisory,
he won't be there, will he?
Shamblu, in his own right, he won a Corto Star. He battled really well in that.
You won't see a better novice jumper than
no,
Shamblu.
I think Sporting
John.
I mean, look, he was beat by Sporting John. I think they interviewed afterwards the trainer, and he basically said about Sporting John that, look, I've absolutely no idea what he's just done. This is not this horse. He's not this good. So whether that was just a bit of a freak performance that's made Shamblu not look quite as good, I think that could be the case. Chantry House himself.
You see, I'd like him. So I think he's okay. I think he's a good horse. I think he came back to form the last day. I thought he ran a really good race. He won that very easily. Coconut Splash is decent. He's a decent horse. He'll probably win a good handicap Coconut Splash. So keep an eye out on him.
I think he's a good horse, but it's just that run at Cheltenham would confuse me as why there's no they haven't come out and said, he's had this problem, we've done this, and that.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah, it's obviously not great, is it?
Yeah, there's a question mark whether he can back that up.
Certainly, but he's got the festival form, isn't he? So he was what was he, third in the Supreme?
Supreme, yeah.
So
there's no doubt that there's ability there, but
yeah. That race that he did win, I think it was it the Weatherby one that you're talking about there. The thing that I did notice when I went and watched that back is that for nearly the entire race, I mean, they were absolutely plodding along. They were going no sort of pace. And nearly every single fence that Chantry House turned up into, he had to be booted into it. All the 3 strides, bang, bang. But he got over them fine. He just had to be booted into them. They then picked up the pace, and he started jumping brilliantly. The last...
I was about to say the slow pace would not suit him in the slightest.
No, and he looked a lot more natural when they picked up. I mean, he absolutely clattered the last, but still went clear.
Yeah, he would.
I think with Shamblu forcing a pace, Chantry House, I don't think is completely out of it.
I don't think he can beat Envoi Allen. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's on the same planet. But like you say, I think if the pace is good and if he jumps fluently, he's a each way better than nothing. I wouldn't see him out the frame. But and like you say, if you think it's going to cut up that much, Ben, the price at the minute could be pretty decent because he could go below 5-1 or that sort of area on the day. As the sort of main danger, if you like. If they're just looking for something to put up against Envoi Allen, something's got to be put up in the market, haven't they? He's okay. He's a good horse, but he's not going to be. He won't be beating Envoi Allen.
There is one that I'll put up that I think could be Envoi Allen. Feel free to laugh, of course, and we will find out in a week or so. But that is Fusel Raffles that you've mentioned, Nicky Henderson's horse. To start off with, I mean, I presume he's the same price now, but I looked earlier, he's 20-1 to win this.
12's here?
12?
The Shrewdies are in.
No.
Oh, sorry. He's 20 to 1 on
Raffles, 20 to William Hill, yeah?
Oh, the Shrewdies are not in.
None want to know that.
He doubled the price.
Sorry, I meant no one want to know that.
No.
Chance he mightn't turn up. Because he's just scared of Envoi.
No. But anyway, he doubled the price of Chantry House. He absolutely demolished Chantry House at Cheltenham. I think he was 13, 14, 15 lengths ahead of him there.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, for one, how on earth is he double the price there? The time before that, he was pulled up on soft. Nicky Henderson did say afterwards that he'll prefer firmer ground. Perfect going into March. Obviously, he's going to get a lot better ground here than what he has faced this season. Even as an alternative bet, if you really think Envoi is the absolute one, I did have a look on Betfair this afternoon. He was 10-1 in the without market. You can back him each way, 3 places, or just to win. He's won twice round Cheltenham. Absolutely pings his fences. The one thing that I would say is that when he beat Chantry House in December, he was clearing every fence by about 4 inches. So that could easily go wrong. It saves a lot of energy doing it, but like you say, if he hits one of them too hard, that could be game over. It could be game over. But in that race as well, I will just mention he beat Nick Mitchell's Lieutenant Rocco, who's now
the Ultima
co-favourite for the Ultima, who I think we all fancy, to be honest with you. And he was giving him £8 that day. So I think that although Chantry House ran perhaps below form, I think Fusel Raffles was actually brilliant that day, and he's improved a hell of a lot to come over fences from his earlier days. And at 20-1, even if I have to take the anti-post, I think he will turn up here. I think 20-1, you can take him on, and if there is any one mistake, one thing wrong with Envoi Allen, Fusel Raffles, I think he could win this.
He put up a good case. yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a 20-1 shot, isn't he? Against an 8-11, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, I suppose the one benefit is that if he gets beaten out of sight and Envoi wins, not many people can have much of a go at me.
No, you can't really crab you, can we? I mean,
and I will be having a party.
Right, we will move on to the second race that we're going to be covering today, which is the Ryanair Chase. Allaho Min, Imperial Aura, all around 5 or 6-1, and there's a hell of a lot of these at similar prices in the market. Right, we'll go Dan first this time. Which one of Willie Mullins' horses is going to win this?
Yeah, well,
Allaho?
Very good question. Definitely not for me, but it's not the. I don't know what it is about Allaho. It sort of does my head in because, I guess. Obviously, I like Ellie May. I really like Ellie May. I thought she ran a cracker behind Allaho the last day. I thought he ran very well that day. But that is the only sort of run this season that you've thought, he's pretty good. He was really disappointing on his seasonal reappearance, wasn't he? He was a mile behind Min. Fair enough.
But it was foggy. He couldn't see.
Well, that's it. Yeah. He might not see which way Min goes here if he runs like that again. But the 3-mile trip in the Savills, that stretched him, didn't it? We saw that in what did he run in? Was it RSA last year he ran in? But
absolutely flying home.
Yeah. Oh, they just stood still, didn't they, in the end? He won nicely at this trip. I think he wants to be up there in the pace. With the pace, the one thing I would be worried about is the fact that Min, Mellon, and Allaho all like being close to the pace. Mellon needs to lead. He's got a stonking chance, Mellon. He has a brilliant chance in this race. The more I look at
this week as well.
the more I look at Mellon, the more I just think, let's just back him. But I've backed 3 runners already in this chuffing race. I just can't bring myself to back another one. The one that I don't like is Imperial Aura. I couldn't have him at all. I just don't like him. The form's shocking. He obviously unseated, didn't he? The last day was just a lapse of concentration, he said. I think it was like the first to second fence. But Windsor Avenue, he beat on his return in that listed race. I think he was given weight away, was he? But not much. But still, the form is not good. He beat Itchy Feet the next day, who is absolutely completely gone at the game this season. Write that off. That shocking form.
Well, he ran in the grade 2, didn't he, afterwards? And
he was just he was shocking. He's gone at the game this season. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Master Tommy Tucker won that race that he unseated in. Obviously, we didn't see how he went. If he would have beaten him, and then Master Tommy Tucker comes out, runs in that behind Dashel Drasher at Ascot, that form looks not too bad. There's a bit more, but the fact that he unseated, we now don't know whether he would have beaten him or not. It was only an even money shot that day. There wasn't absolutely loads between them. Sam Crow, you could give him a chance. If he came back to the form of when he beat Mellon. I think Min has got to be given another chance because the pace is just too much now for him at 2 miles, especially when it's Shaq and Passoir in the race, who is obviously very quick. It's just too much. He clattered a couple, didn't he? Just fell out of love with that race that day. Give him another chance.
He's an excellent jumper, isn't he? So that was definitely out of the ordinary.
Back to Cheltenham, the pace will be a bit slower. I don't see why. He's about 6-1. That's a good price, isn't it, really, for the winner of this race last season? And given that at his best, he is the best horse in the race.
St Calvados just win this last season, and
only just. That's right.
Brilliantly by mentioning St Calvados, who if he didn't hit the last, St Calvados, I'm convinced would have easily won.
Oh yeah. St Calvados has got a big shout. I've backed him. He's one of the that's it. 3 that I've backed are Min. St Calvados. I think that the form from last season is very good. I think, like you say, he was really unlucky that he didn't win. And I've backed Mr Fisher as well because he's got very good course form. He's improved this season. He's a very good horse, especially when the ground's good to soft on the good side. He's pretty decent.
The thing that I found strange about Mr Fisher when I was looking a bit more into his form this afternoon. So he ran in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, was it?
Yeah,
Cheltenham?
And he was shocking.
He was shocking. Nicky Henderson said it was a soft ground. He doesn't like the soft ground.
Yeah.
He then won the Peterborough Chase. Do you know what the ground was? Soft. So I'm not too sure what was going on.
Well, I did say Nicky Henderson might have been having an off year this year, so we'll forget that. But he's certainly better on better ground, and he's certainly very good at Cheltenham. Real Steel, another one.
Ahead.
No, it's all right. I'll run through a couple here. Real Steel tanked in the Gold Cup last year, didn't he? Slowly run Gold Cup. Watch Real Steel. Oh my word, what is going off? Real Steel.
I was getting a bit worried coming.
Real Steel looks like he's going to win it by about 10 lengths. He just empties, doesn't he? He just doesn't stay the trip. But he was swinging, absolutely traveling all over every other horse.
If he was having a field day on top.
Hey.
Brian Hughes was having an absolute field day.
That's it. He must have been he must have got that buzz thinking, I'm going to win this by a mile here, but he doesn't stay. Drop back to this, trip, that could be okay. Kalashnikov's a big price. He's got course form. This is absolutely a minefield, but the 3 that I've backed, because obviously I've staked my own money on them, so I must fancy them more than the rest, are Min, Mr Fisher at a bigger price, to be fair, so maybe not at 8-1. St Calvados at the price he is now, and Min at the price he's now. And I think, do you know what? The more I look at Mellon, that last year oh my word, if he jumps like he did last year, there's only one winner of this, and it's Mellon. But he's got to jump like he did last year. He was outstanding.
I've got a funny feeling that by the Thursday you're going to have backed the whole field for this
Yeah,
race.
yeah. I'm literally, that's it. I might back Melon. I'm capped.
Bye.
I'm capped. So done. So I'll back Melon, capped. That's it. 4 in the race, and don't ask me to pick one for this because I've got no idea.
Ben, what do you reckon? Have you got any of those 4?
Yeah, but as I said, this is the first race which I actually struggled to come to terms with the solid selection. But look at this race the last 3 months, thinking, yeah, he might win it. Okay, no, actually, be there. He won't win it for this reason. But yeah, like this, I run over a few more. Like I run over a few. Like yeah, Min has been a great servant in the Ritchie family, and if Altier wasn't about, like how many more wins would
Hell of a lot,
got in his career? Yeah. Allo was a horse who, like, he's also been good for connections, and that third in the RSA last year's good for him. But when I actually thought they should have run in the Marsh, which he would have won in my eyes last year. But yeah, and I think Ruddy was quoted saying he was quite hard to train this year, but he won last time out, and he has got the potential to go well here. But it's not one that I'm overly keen on. Melon and Mr. Fisher, they also have a shout. This is quite open renewal. Like, so I'm just running through, like, and I just, funny enough, tactics for the Mullins winner. All 3 of them like to go forward. So
Melon has to lead. Melon has to lead. That's guaranteed.
One of them's getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, Allaho will sit in behind. Melon has to lead. I think Min will sit very close to Melon.
But the one I'm taking a chance on is St. Calvados. They've tried to get this horse to the Gold Cup this year, and was it last night before him? They've reluctantly accepted that it's just not possible. Like,
no, he doesn't stay 3 miles, does he?
He ran well in the King George. I thought it was quite promising effort, and then last time out in the Cotswold Chase, that's what all went out the window, and he ran off through Tyler. But I think he'll appreciate the step back and trip, and he was only beating Nack in this race last year. And as you guys said a couple minutes ago, that if he didn't hit the last fence, he probably would have won. So yeah, I think there's definitely a big race in him, and I'm going to take a chance on Pin one.
Cool. I'll run through a couple that I got down here. Mr. Fisher, I think's just got absolutely no chance. I don't think it's anywhere near the Irish form. St. Calvados, I agree with both of you. I mean, he's getting backed by the minute, so I mean, he's getting down to what's 8-9 to 1 now. You'd have wanted, I think, a little bit more than that in a race as open as this. I don't think he's right up there with the top ones. Min, he's a great servant, but I just don't think he's going to.
Here we go. Allaho steam train coming here.
The Allaho steam train is on its way.
Oh dear.
As mentioned.
I've seen this moment fueling up now for the last 5 minutes. I was sitting there thinking, where's George going to mention Allaho?
The big thing here is the fog. Obviously, Allaho ran in the John Durkan, where the weather was absolutely terrible. As soon as David Mullins realised that he wasn't going to win, he completely eased him down. So I don't think we can. Basically, I'm putting a line through that. He was 4th in the Savills, obviously behind this year's Gold Cup winner A Plus Tard and this year's Gold Cup runner-up Kenboy. The thing that, I mean, you could just see just watching it is that over 3 miles he weakened off a bit there, and I think this trip's going to be absolutely perfect for him. Like you, Dan, I agree. Ali May is an absolute banker in the Mares Chase, and I've had her backed for a while. So, I mean, yes, he only beat her by 3 lengths, but they were an absolute mile clear of the rest of them that day. 5 to 1, good price. I've written down. You might disagree, but I
controversial.
7 to 2. I will just mention an outsider if you want to back something a little bit bigger price. Again, like Allaho, he didn't stay the 3 miles when he ran in the Savills. Obviously, he won the Marsh last year, beating Mellon by a nose. He's also entered in the Paddy Power Plate, is it, I think? He'd have to carry, I think the only person with a pound more than him would have been, or horse, would have been Battle Over Doyen. I think he's 11.10. So, I mean, he might go to the Paddy Power Plate, but that'd be a hell of a weight to carry in that. 16 to 1 you can get here, so I mean, I think he can run a place, but
is that Sam Crow?
Sam Crow, yeah, Sam Crow. On the whole of things, I just, maybe I'm a bit swayed by Ruby's keen words on Allaho a month or 2 ago on the racing TV show, but I think that run to beat Ellie May in the way that he did, that's probably some of the best, at least recent form that we have on offer. But like you say, Sam Crow's a bigger price. St Calvados, I would, at double figure prices, I would not put you off, but any shorter than that, not so sure.
Well, I mean, to be fair, obviously, I've just one thing quickly that we obviously are, crabbing Allaho a little bit, if you like. The upside for Allaho is that he won on his last start. Min bloody pulled up. Calvados unseated. Mr. Fisher, you said form's not good enough, so that's fine. Real Steel, I can't even remember what Real Steel did last. What was the other one that was in there that we were on about? Where are we? Obviously, Imperial Aura, unseated. Sam Crow, we haven't seen for ages. You run through this, you've got 3 coming in off the back of, 1 pulling up, 2 not staying on. One that I will mention now is Fakadooderies. Actually, I forgot about him. Interesting. The tripless horse, if you like. The tripless horse, Fakadooderies.
Hell of a good run last time, though.
Yeah, and he was second as well last year, wasn't he, to put the kettle on who's got a chance in the Champion Chase. That was in the Arkle. Yeah, bear in mind that Fakadooderies is 1-1 at this trip. So they didn't know what to do, did they? Like you said, 3 miles, didn't stay. 2 miles, too quick. 2.5. Is he tripless or does he just want 2.5? He's only ever ran at it once. Obviously beat, it was Sam Crow that was absolutely cruising besides him 2 out, wasn't it? And I think Sam Crow fell, so he possibly wouldn't have won that day. We don't know, because Sam Crow was a bit of...
Have we lost him again?
I think we've lost him.
1-1 at this trip, so...
We lost you a bit there, Dan. Just go back to Sam Crow coming up sides.
Oh, sorry. No, I just said that Sam Crow was upsides. He looked like he was going to cruise home, but he was a bit of a bridle horse at that point in his career, wasn't he, Sam Crow? And we didn't know how much of a finishing effort he gave. He obviously fell, so we didn't see what happened. But, Fakadoodery, he's got good course form. He's got festival form as well. So, like I say, the course form there. And he's 1-1 at the trip. So, I wouldn't rule him out either. Of the many others that we've built. Just add another one into the equation. But, I mean, there are so many with a chance in this.
We have put a hell of a lot of them up. I know you hate to do it, Dan, but if you can give us one.
I know, I seem pretty tripless with my selections, don't I? Right,
like give us one each. What's going to win it?
I'll go with Min. I'll go with Min again. Let's go.
Ben?
St Calvados.
Yeah, not a bad second and third behind Allaho, I suppose. Right, we'll leave the stays till last. It's the main race of the day, and we'll go over to another one that's looking pretty tricky in the Mares Novice. To be honest, it's a very similar market compared to the Ryanair. You've got Royal Kahala at 5s, Hook Up at 5s, 11-2, Rosie's Hollow 11-2, and then it's 9-1 after that. Have you got any immediate fancies, Ben?
No, nothing. Like, it's not a race where I'm going to have a huge lot of money invested into. Well, I'll just mention it should be called the Willie Mullins Mares Novice Race, because he's won 5 out of 5. But yeah, I think I'm not going to spend an awful lot of time here, because I'm not going to steal in Dan's glory, because I think Dan's got one lined up here where he's going to give it for a crack. But Hook Up, I think Hook Up probably brings the best form into the race. That last time against Behind Appreciated caught me by surprise, really. Look, he was really.
She was a big price that day, wasn't she?
Yeah, 50-1.
50s, yeah.
Yeah, I think she surprised me, because like that last day the day before against Royal Kahala, just add her up in the ground, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what I would say, is that would you be concerned that, look, she's run 4th in the Chanel Farmer, but she's been beat soundly by Royal Kahala with no real excuses. Excuses.
Getting weight that day.
It's not really a race I'm gonna be too invested in it. I don't have much of an opinion on it. I think I'll have a bet on the day, maybe £10 each way or £5 each way, and just sit back and watch, because I've never backed the winner in the 5 runnings, and it's probably not going to change this year unless I strike lucky.
Have you got anything a bit stronger, Dan?
Yeah, I thought Royal Kahala had a massive chance if she turned up. But you know, I'm not sure with the vibes now. I thought the vibes were that she went to Fairy House because obviously she'd ran. That's where she's done all the running this season. I thought they'd keep her for that, but
yeah, she's clear favourite on the exchange now for this, which,
yeah,
like you say, surprised about.
Oh yeah, I mean, if she turns up, the 5-1 on her is a very decent price because, as you say, she battered Hook Up, giving her weight a couple of starts ago. Obviously, the last day, you know, you could be a little bit disappointed that she didn't win, but she can't win every race. You know, she'd been very consistent. She can't win every single race, and you know, she gets weight now. She gets a £5 turnaround in the weights. Actually, no, she doesn't, does she? She gave £4 that day, I think.
She gave £4 to Rosie's Hollow.
Correct.
Yeah.
So she gets a £9 turnaround in the weights. So lovely stuff. But yeah, that's a big weight pull, isn't it? Really, and you know, she's very decent, and I think they should go for this because I think she's got a favourites chance. Hook Up. The thing with Hook Up is her jumping's not very good, is it? But there are only 2 hurdles in the last 7 furlongs in this race, so that is a very, very good stat for her, if you like. It's something good.
We love a stat.
It's going to help her, isn't it? Because she travels very well, and she's clearly got ability because she can travel even if she's hitting every single hurdle. And to finish 4th in that race, given how poorly she jumped, is still a very good effort. If she jumps better, she's got a big chance. I don't like Galoise. I don't think she's got good enough form. I'd be shocked if she reversed that. If you know, reversed it with Royal Kahala on worse terms. Glens of Antrim, 14 to 1. Here we go.
Sorry, I missed that one. What did you say? Glens of Antrim.
Yeah, she's got very decent form, I think. I cannot understand why she's 14 to 1. I mean, she's got form behind Statler, who Ben's very keen on, and I am myself for the Albert Bartlett. Beaten only 3 lengths. And a form behind Mr. Incredible, who I think is a very decent horse. He looks very good. That could easily be pretty decent in comparison to this race. They were 23. She was 23 lengths clear of the third. The third could be absolutely no good at all, but she's still, you know, she's been about half the track.
The Blue Lord on debut as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
behind Gallard Duminil.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Incredible. So the form all stacks up. Like.
Oh yeah, the form is behind very good horses, and the thing is, she's now against her own sex, you know, and she's a maiden, but she's had the 3 runs. She's got the experience behind her in, you know, races there you would expect the winners to be. They look very good. You could possibly have 2 winners, you know, even 3 winners out of the horses she's been behind by the time we get to this race. You know, if you're looking at that, what price is she going to be then? I know it's a fantasy world to live in, you know, but what price would she be if it turns out with that? Obviously, I was saying to you yesterday that I was on a preview for a racing club, just, you know, like a watch party thing, and the Chad Yeomans from Betway was on there, and he was. You sort of got the feeling that, you know, I don't know who's had the bet, but he said basically that somebody who is very much in the know and known for these sorts of bets had a significant bet, he said, on Glens of Antrim for this race at 14 to 1. So,
right, JP, where are you?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you'd wish, wouldn't you? But I just thought that was interesting. But even before that, I'd fancied her, and obviously when I heard that, I thought, wow, you know, not wow, but you know, that's pretty. It's got to give you a little bit of confidence. If they're saying that somebody is in the know had a bet on it. She's trained by Willie Mullins, isn't she? Yeah. So she fits the bill, and at 40, she fits the bill, even just with the Willie Mullins thing. But at 14 to 1.
Send her chasing next year for the Mares Chase, do you reckon?
Well, if she bolts up here, then
I've got pages and pages of notes that I've made on the Mares Novice, and I tell you what, Glens of Antrim does not feature once, so I've somehow missed this. But you pretty much convinced me here.
She'd be half that price. There's no way on the day she'd be 14.
Once this video ends, I'm going on to Sky Bet, wherever I can get the best price. I'm loading up.
Well, there's no way if she is 14 to 1, I will eat my hat. There's no way she'll be double figure. No way. She won't. Not a chance. 14's on the day.
You're convincing me there. I'll quickly run through a few that clearly don't matter anymore, but I'll
16 to 1 with Coral and Ladbrokes.
Oh, I mean, 14 to 1 is non-runner no bet as well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether Ladbrokes and Coral are non-runner no bet, but wow, I mean,
Sky as well, I think, was 14.
Very, 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 very good price, I think.
I'll run through, like I say, a few. Royal Kahala obviously beat Hookup by 4 or 5 lengths. She didn't really get a clear run as well, coming down the home straight there.
Inside she had to go on, didn't she?
So I can't see how Hookup would ever be turning that around, or at least in the next sort of 6 months or so. Hookup obviously ran in the Chanel Farmer, as we've already gone through. She came 4th, yes, but all of the good horses in that race beat her, so I don't really see what we can take from that. Anti-post favourite, or second favourite, I should say, Rosie's Hollow. She's obviously won her last 2. And I'll quickly just stare at this while I see what I've written. She's 4th at National debut. I've completely lost my position. Yeah, so her 2 wins have been over 2 mile 2, both on heavy. So that would suggest to you that maybe she's won for a little bit further in time. She finished pretty strongly in both of those as well. So perhaps on faster ground over a shorter distance, she might be a little outpaced coming up the hill. One that we haven't mentioned is Alan King's The Glancing Queen. Obviously been very good this year. Won at Warwick over, quite a bit further in 2 mile 5. And then was 3rd behind Brave Man's Game in the Shallow. You're looking at me very confused there. Am I wrong?
No,
I'm sure
you're right.
Right.
No, you're right.
Yeah, she just looked outpaced when what was it? Skelton's horse, was it? Wild About Oscar kicked on, and I think she was favourite.
This is the Glancing Queen, yeah.
Yeah, the Glancing Queen,
right,
yeah.
Beat the Wild About Oscar at Exeter last month.
Warwick, I think, unless I've written the wrong place. Anyway,
she needs better ground.
She needs better ground. But I think that there's a chance as well, like Rosie's Hollow, that she could just get outpaced back at 2 miles or so. The one that I was going to put up, which I don't know whether to bother now, was Galois, who you guys seem to think have no chance. Obviously, she was unbeaten in her 2 hurdles runs. I think she ran in a National Hunt flat race in France as well. She was, as we've mentioned, 3rd behind Rosie's Hollow and Royal Kahala. The one thing that I think she could turn this around with is that she absolutely hated the heavy ground there. She's 1 or 2 races on soft, and I think she really is one that wants better ground. She easily beat Global Equity on her Irish debut, who I think has run 3 times since and come 2nd every time. One of those was just behind Rosie's Hollow as well. And the last little thing I've written down here is convinced that she can turn that form around with the market rivals. So, I mean, she's, you say value because the favourites are 5 to 1, so they're not short, but at 9 to 1 on better ground, I think you've got a bit of a Bally Adam situation here where she could close up at least a lot closer than what she did. I think she's an each way bet to nothing. I couldn't really see anything else in the race, apart from your Glens of Antrim, which I'll have to have a look into myself. But Galois, obviously, she fits the trend of the Mullins horses, and I think she could run a pretty good race at 9s. Right, we won't hang around for too long on the Mares Novice because Glens of Antrim wins, doesn't she? So we'll all be on that, and I'll be ringing you up for my refund if she doesn't. Right, main race today, the Stayers Hurdle. Obviously, it's 1-1 this season with Time Hill and Paisley Park. Time Hill coming out on top the first time, and then Paisley Park coming from an absolute mile back, looking like he was done for to win the second time out. That was a pretty close one, and I think we could be in for something similar this time around. Obviously, the last year's winner, Liz Nagar Oscar, was 50 to 1. I don't think we can see something like that this year. I mean, not just from him that he's not been good enough this year, but just in general, I think it's probably between those two. I think Ben tends to agree, don't you?
Yeah, as you said, it's 1-1 this season, and in my opinion, Paisley Park's going to make it 2-1 for the season finale. He stays all day, jumps soundly, and I think he's got what it takes. He's had his issues last year, and he might have broke my heart in the stairs last year when he had the heart problems. But I think that first run against Time Hill, it was sort of like a fact finding mission. They were sort of saying like, is this the horse we thought like we once had? Like still, is he still there? And he done well to get. I think we get into about a length and a half, or just under 2 lengths, and he was giving Time Hill £3 that day. So for me, I think that showed them like that they're like, this is still the horse that he once was. And then after the next day at Ascot, he's turned that around, and that was a Paisley we know stayed on strongly to get up just before the finish. I think it's evident that he retains the same, if not, he retains a similar amount of ability, if not the same. And I think level weights, the ground shouldn't be an issue. And Time was no mug, and he got no run about it last year, which was a cracking race, and the winner of that Monkfish is the anti-post favourite for the 2022 World Gold Cup. But at the same time, I still think that Paisley Park's going to get the better of him here. There's two I actually want to mention. Storyteller. The Storyteller's a flag bearer for the Elliott Yard. I just sort of looking at the form yesterday when I was doing my notes, and he's so consistent in everything he does. Hurdles or fences, he doesn't care. He's ramped up 4 times this year, including the Grade 1 at Down Royal just at Halloween time, and he was second in the Irish World Cup behind Envoi last month over fences. But he always runs his heart out, and there's no reason why he can't go well here. Another one.
In Cheltenham form as well, doesn't he? The Storyteller.
Yeah, and just another one I want to mention is I wasn't really getting the hype around this horse, but I haven't convinced myself that he's going to win because I think Paisley Park's going to win. But Sarah Burley, he definitely has a chance. He's won the Pretemps 2 years in a row, but the interesting thing I found was he'd never won, and I didn't realize this. He never won any prep races in advance of the Pretemps. So this crack this year where he won first time out at Navan or Naas, I think, and then he was third at Christmas behind Flora and Porter, but he seemed to come to life around Cheltenham. So, if he comes to life again, he's definitely got as good a chance as some of the rest of them. But yeah.
So with that in mind, obviously he was third to Flora and Porter. Do you think Flora and Porter's got an outside chance?
He's definitely got an outside chance, but
14-1.
Yeah, but I think he definitely got the run of the race that day, didn't he? At Christmas time, and I don't know if he'll get the same run of the race again. So, but he's definitely. I'm not saying he's absolutely got no hope, but I think when it comes onto the big stage here at Cheltenham, I think there'll be better horses winning this, and in my eyes, that's Paisley Park.
We will have another pause again because Dan has disappeared for the millionth time. Oh, here he is.
Dan, did you miss me? Did you miss me talking about how Paisley's going to storm up the Cheltenham Hill again?
No, I heard that bit.
I think you've been very much like Altior these last couple of videos, Dan. You hit a flat spot, disappear, and all of a sudden you come back, storming home to glory, and you're about to give us a Stayers Hurdle winner.
Well, I heard that Ben was just on about Cider Belay when the internet thought it'd kick me off again. First 3 words I've got here is very difficult race. Obviously, Time Hill and Paisley Park should be pretty close again, the 1-on-1. I'd be inclined to take them on just at the prices. I thought there's a lot of each way alternatives in this race, and I think Cider Belay is just rock solid. I think there's an each way bet. I can't see how, if you can get, what they give you depends how many runners, maybe 4 or 5 places on the day, how he's out of them first 4 or 5. Like Ben said, he's won the last 2 renewals of the Pretemps. Last year he was brilliant. I was on the Storyteller last year for the Pretemps, and I was counting my money when I seen the Storyteller swinging coming to the last, and then I seen this big beast come up beside him, and I was singing, "Oh my God, it's him!" After the last was just it's him again. It's him again. I was singing, "Not again." Back? Oh, I'd backed him 2 years ago. I'd backed him. When he was getting scrubbed along in a slowly run race, never ever looked like he was going to win. And Barry Geraghty pulled off the best rider of the week to get him up. This time round, obviously last season, it was a more strongly run race. He cruised in that race, didn't he? Absolutely cruised it. The better ground will suit him. I thought he had a very, very good chance. He loves Cheltenham, doesn't he? Clearly loves the hill. He clearly loves to battle. He stays very well. Like I said, I think the quicker they go, the better. And I think last year the Pertemps, I might be wrong on this, but I thought it was ran. I think it was 2 seconds quicker than the stayers last year. He would have won this race last year. You better believe it. He would have won this race and won it easily. So on that form, how he hasn't got a chance each way, he's got a very, very good chance. Very, very solid. And, the storyteller, like you say, he's very consistent. I can't, there's surely no way he reverses form with Cider Belay because Cider Belay gave him weight and beat him. So, but he could definitely, run very well each way. And Flooring Porter as well. We can't forget about this geezer because this is harder than his latest assignment. But, we'll come on to the Pertemps in the handicaps. But, there's a fair few people like the Boss's Oscar for this, even off a mark of 151. He absolutely hammered the Boss's Oscar. It was double figures how far he beat this horse. That he's a very good horse, isn't he? If he can do that, especially if the Boss's Oscar wins a Pertemps, carrying near enough top weight, and Flooring Porter's beating him 10.5 lengths. Yeah, he's got to have a chance, and there's a bit of money coming from now. He shouldn't be 11-1. Thomas Darby was the only other one. Oh no, Thomas Darby and Lisnagar Oscar, funnily enough, that George, absolutely smashed. But he was back to form last time, wasn't he, Lisnagar? And he'd had wind surgery. I thought he ran very well when he was second. He travels pretty well. I thought he'd come on for that. And
he did only beat third wins, who I don't think would win a race like this.
No, definitely not. But he needs a strongly run race, and it did fall apart last year. He picked up the pieces, but who's to say it won't do that again? Thomas Darby was the only other one I thought.
There she goes. There she goes again.
I'll lose everybody again.
Yeah,
that's fine. The only other one is Thomas Darby. He's a very consistent horse, and he steps up in trip if he runs here, so he could maybe go well for the Ollie Murphy team. But no, I'm Cider Belay for me.
Cool. We've got a couple of different ones. I'm with Paisley Park myself. The thing that did impress me, and you're going to find me absolutely sad for doing this, but the day that he beat Time Hill at Ascot, it was Ascot, wasn't it?
At Christmas, before Christmas?
Yes. The ground was awful. I went through and watched every other race on that card, in fast forward. I haven't got that much time. Every single horse that won that day either led or was massively prominent the whole way around. Paisley Park, as he always does, came from a hell of a way back. I think we can upgrade that run massively. The first time out, I think we can forgive him that. Obviously, he was played, in my opinion, too late when Time Hill beat him. He was closing him all the way to the line. He probably just needed an extra half furlong or a furlong or so. When he won it in 2019, he was a hell of a lot closer than what he was both last year and against Time Hill this season. He actually turned in, 4th or 5th, but by the time they had 2 furlongs left, he was right up there. He was right up there on the front, and that gave him enough time to accelerate. Whereas this season, I just found that against Time Hill the first time, he didn't get that turn of foot that he gets. Obviously, we know Paisley Park hits a flat spot every race, or nearly every race. And then he picks up again, similar to Altior, but I think even more pronounced. So when he's not given enough time, he just doesn't get up. Obviously, last year he had his own excuses as well, but I think he was way too far back then. With a ride a lot similar to his 2019 victory in this, if he's a lot closer when they're turning and they're rising up the hill, I think he's an absolutely massive price at 130. I think if he would have come out and beat Time Hill even by half a length first time out, you would have him 2-1, 15-8 in this. I think he probably just needed that, and when he did only just beat Time Hill at Ascot, you can massively upgrade that. Cider Belay, I agree, is probably the one to challenge, but I can't really see much else in this. I don't think the storyteller will be quite good enough. Flooring Porter, could go well at a price, but the rest of them, I think, are absolutely nowhere near. And for once, I'm looking at a race thinking the British form is the best form that we have on offer here.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Paisley Park's a very good bet, and I would like to think that on the day he's going to be a lot shorter than 130.
Yeah, I think Emma Lavelle said this week he is absolutely bouncing at home. She can't wait to get him on track. She said he's absolutely bouncing. She says she actually wishes whatever day she did an interview. She said I wish the race is the next day because she thinks that he is. That's the Paisley that she knows.
Good sign for me. Right. Well, quickly goes. We did just mention a few each. So before we go on to the nap of the day, who did you have in the stay as each of you?
Paisley Park.
Side of LA, all the way.
LA, yeah, I'm with Paisley Park as well myself. Very, very good price. Right. Of the four we've gone through at least, what would you say, Dan, is your best bet of the day?
Well, I don't know. I think we might fill the bucket. You know, we've had a bid on it, so we might fill the bucket with Glens of Antrim at 14 to 1. Because the more I think about
bullish.
it,
that is bullish.
The better price I think it is. So I think I might just, maybe get the wheelbarrow out on Friday.
You don't get many 14 to 1 naps on these racing previews,
No.
so the viewers are going to be loving you if that one goes in.
You might come back and watch the next time.
Ben, I've got a feeling yours might be a little shorter.
A little shorter, but not as short as you think. Look, Envoi Allen wins, so there's no point putting him as an nap at 11 because he wins anyway. My nap for day 3 is Paisley Park.
Paisley Park, yeah. And I will agree with you that he's going to win, but I will be even more inventive.
Here we go.
Here we go.
The Marsh, obviously, we're going to go back to it. Fusel rattles. Kicking clear. Looks to his right. It's Envoi. He's on the snaff. One down the backside. Further clear. Fusel rattles 20 to 1 for me.
Now, if you're on about me tipping the winner with Glens of Antrim, if you tip that with that one, you'll go down in living folklore. You will. You'll go down in history. So, yeah.
Right. So we'll call it a day there. We've got one more day to preview, so that should be up in the next day or two, which obviously includes the Gold Cup, where I've already given you the winner.
And I'd be in agreement. I had to be in agreement with that winner.
Great. Right. We'll leave it there, and we should be back shortly.